Now for the good news. Sorry about that. The JP8 report. I had other things on my mind. Episode 281. Good afternoon, everyone. It's been a busy day. I survived the trip to Austin at midnight. Got home like at 2:05. So if I look a little bit tired, you can blame Rachel. All right? And I'm pretty sure she might be watching the podcast as we speak. Uh, but welcome to the JP8 report, episode 281. The White House, Trump is giving a White House speech tonight at the diplomatic reception room. All right. So it's going to be at 9 o'clock Eastern. All right. So before we get started, a couple of, we'll go through the welcome part first. So welcome, and then don't forget to click that follow button. Then after the follow button, please click that thumbs up or the like. Subscribe if you're on YouTube, and then don't forget to share. Right? And I do live through X and Facebook and YouTube. I gotta be nice to YouTube because they're allowing me to live stream from Rumble through them, which is great. So some breaking news that came about since I was coming on air. The president is on his way to Dover, Delaware, for the dignified transfer of those two NCOs that were killed in Syria last week. And then the Senate and I didn't get the vote count. That's what I was meaning to do, and stuff was going crazy around here. The Senate approved the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act, a $901 billion defense bill, and it's sent to President Trump for his signature. And I'm pretty sure he's going to make that an Oval Office signature so everybody can see it. Matter of fact, that should be incentive for Maduro to leave Venezuela, because even if there's a government shutdown at the end of January, the Defense Department is fully funded. Okay, or the War Department. I'm sorry. And then I was talking about my other podcast. So what I'm going to do with the JP8 report is we're doing JP8 today, Thursday, and Friday. Okay, and then I am doing the JP8 report on Monday, so I can cover anything that happened over the weekend in the Monday. And then Tuesday, I'm going to just do the America 250 events for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Okay? Unless there's a major breaking news on Tuesday, all I probably will do would just be those America 250 events that transpired all the way into through Saturday, and then next week. And then let's see, that takes us to Tuesday all the way through past Christmas, and then I might do one or two the following week, maybe two. One to cover up the weekend and any stuff that happened while I wasn't on air, and then Tuesday do the same thing with like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Friday and Saturday for America 250. Okay, we'll see. We'll play by ear. All right. But one thing I won't stop on at the daily podcast is my Now for the Good News. So if you I don't have a graph for it here, but if you look on Rumble for Now for the Good News, it that's what it is. It's now NOW ... for the good news. And what I do with that is I do a chapter a day through the Bible. And right now, like today is the 17th. was Job chapter 27. So on January 2nd, I begin Psalms, and that's going to be 5 months because one chapter a day. It's 150 chapters in the book of Psalms. So that's what I'm going to be doing, but I don't stop for nothing on the Bible reading, okay? So if you, I might put a link in the comments section, but that's something I've been doing for 2 years now. I went through the whole New Testament, and then I've been walking my way through the Old Testament, and I'm about done with Job, going into Psalms. All right? We'll put this right here. All right, so we did the welcome, the follow, the like, and the share. Now for America 250 moment. An America 250 moment is today a letter from Colonel Henry Knox to General George Washington. Okay. May it please your excellency, I returned from Ticonderoga to this place on the 15th instant and brought with me the cannon and etc. It having taken nearly the time I conjectured it would to transport them here, it is not easy to conceive the difficulties we have had in getting them over the lake owing to the advanced season of the year, which is winter, right? And contrary winds. 3 days ago, it was very uncertain whether we could have gotten them over until next spring. But now, please God, they shall go. I have made 42 exceedingly strong sleds and have provided 80 yoke of oxen to drag them to as far as Springfield, where I shall get fresh cattle to carry them to camp. The route will be from here to Kinderhook, and from thence to Great Barrington, Massachusetts Bay, and down to Springfield. There will scarcely be any possibility of conveying them from here to Albany or Kinderhook, but on sleds. The roads are being very much gullied. At present, the sledding is tolerable to Saratoga, about 26 miles. Beyond that, there is none. I have sent for the sleds and the teams to come up and to expect to begin to move them to Saratoga on Wednesday or Thursday next, trusting that between this and that period we shall have a fine fall of snow which will enable us to proceed further and make the carriage easy. If that should be the case, I hope in 16 or 17 days to be able to present to your excellency a noble train of artillery, the inventory of which I enclose. I have been particular with respect to their dimensions, that no mistake may be in making their carriages, as there are none here or implements of any kind. I also send a list of those stores which I desired Colonel McDougall to send from New York. I did not then know that any 13-inch mortars, which was the reason of my ordering but few shells of that size. But I now write to him for 500 1-inch, 200 5 7/8 inches, and 400 of 4.5 inches. If these sizes could be had, there is, I believe, they can. I should imagine it would save time and expense rather than have them cast. If you should think otherwise, or have made provision for elsewhere, you will please to countermand this order. There is no other news here from Colonel Arnold than that from Colonel McLean's having burnt the houses around Quebec. Colonel Arnold, which obliged to go Point au Tremble, about 6 miles from the city, that General Montgomery had gone to join him, with a considerable body of men and a good train of artillery, mortars, and etc. There will be some timid and some malevolent spirits who make this matter much worse. From the different accounts which I have been able to collect, I have had very little doubt that General Montgomery has Quebec now in his possession. I am the most humble respect, Your Excellency, most honorable, humble servant, Colonel Henry Knox. That was a good intelligence briefing for him. That's a good officer. That's why they got Fort Knox named after him. All right. So that was America 250, which was really cool. All right. So next is the Dalmatian guys. They make homemade, fresh hot dogs and smash burgers right here in Copper's Cove. All their ingredients are homemade, including their buns. They're open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 2, and then 5:30 to 7, unless they sell out. They're on the west side of Copper's Cove, Texas, behind Bush's Chicken in the shopping center, right? I talk about it all the time. I like the armadillo burger. I had one yesterday, all right? So, if you're in Killeen, Belton, or Temple, or Lampasas, or Gatesville, or even Austin, and you want a good smash burger, come check these guys out in the west side of Copper's Cove. All right? All right, so what I got up here on my slides. All right, the president. The president is going to address the nation tonight from the diplomatic reception room. All right. Diplomatic reception room, 9 p.m. He's going to talk about accomplishments and economics and maybe some stuff for he wants to do in the future, right? So he put this out on Truth last night. My fellow Americans, I will be giving an address to the nation tomorrow night, live from the White House at 9 p.m. Eastern. I look forward to seeing you then. It has been a great year for our country, and the best is yet to come. President Donald J. Trump. All right. Give me a second here. All right. So I got this from Fox News this morning. President Donald Trump will highlight his administration's accomplishments over his first year back in office in his address from the White House on Wednesday night. The White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt gave a preview of his speech during a Tuesday press briefing, telling reporters that Trump will seek to highlight his wins over the past 11 months. Like the defense bill, right? As you all saw on Truth Social, President Trump is going to be giving an address to the nation tomorrow night, live from the White House at 9 Eastern. I know you guys will be tuning in. I was just in the Oval Office with the president discussing it. He's going to talk a lot about the accomplishments over the past 11 months, all that he's done to bring our country back to the greatness, and all he continues to plan to do, to continue delivering to the American people over the next 3 years. She continued. Leavitt later added in an appearance on Fox News America Reports, which is on right now, that Trump may also tease some policy that will be coming in the next year as well. Trump first announced a speech publicly at Truth Social, which we just read. My fellow Americans, I'll be giving an address. We just read that. And that is all. So I'll be just getting out of church when that comes on. I will see it. as much as I can, or if not, I'll catch the replay when it comes past, right? So I heard from this morning that the reason for the speech tonight is that everyone's going to be tuning out of everything over the next couple weeks. Like on my podcast, right now I got 6 people watching live, which is good, right? But on video on demand, I expect those numbers probably to drop off a little bit because people are going to, detox on everything social over the next few weeks. So I'm still doing my stuff, but he wants to get the news out to the American people before they all got busy with Christmas and New Year's, right? So to defeat the rhetoric of the people that use it against him, because like I said yesterday, it's unrelenting what they do to the president. All right. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the New York Post reported from a Vanity Fair article from the author's name is Chris Whipple, and it came out yesterday, that Marco Rubio told him that he will not run for president in 2028 if J.D. Vance does. So it's setting up that maybe J.D. Vance, POTUS, Marco Rubio v. POTUS. It might be. So we'll see. I think that would be a good team anyway, because you see how well they act in coordination with each other, which is really, really good. And they look like they're about the same age as it is. But we'll see on that. We'll see how true. I can't believe I'm actually agreeing with something that the Vanity Fair is actually talking about. Who said that? Oh, Vince. I was listening to the Vince podcast this morning, and he said, why do people read stuff like Rolling Stone? He didn't say Rolling Stone. I said Rolling Stone or Vanity Fair or The Atlantic. Publications that absolutely despise Trump and anything MAGA or anything Republican at all. So why do we even breathe oxygen into their publications to give them a little bit more life in their failing stuff? But he did put out that Rubio did say that he won't run in 2028 for president if J.D. Vance does, okay? Which is pretty good. So next is an article I meant to talk about yesterday. In May 2026, Jerome Powell relinquishes his leadership over the Federal Reserve as the chair. So the president gets to appoint his replacement, and they serve they can serve 2 5-year terms if they're renominated by the no audio. Can y'all hear me? Hey, do I have audio here? I got 10 people watching. I guess I got audio. Okay, I got good sound on my board, so it might be something out there in internet land. Let's see. Before I go any further, hold on just a second. I'm sending a text, right? Graham Allen did the same thing, so I'm going to say the same thing. Hey, excuse me just for a second. I got to send this out, all right? But I'm going to do an actual quick phone call. Just a second. Hey, Rachel, this is real quick. Hey, can you hear me on the podcast?
I just worked out, sorry.
You did what?
I turned it off for a minute.
Oh, were you hearing me talk on it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you. Love you.
You too.
Welcome back to Texas.
Thanks.
Okay, I got volume. So hopefully Rob can hear me. Tell me if you got audio, Rob. All right, so back here to what's going on here with the Fed Reserve. We were talking about the term of office for um, what do you call it, for the Federal Reserve with 2 5-year terms, providing the president actually reappoints him and it's confirmed by the Senate. All right, so Jerome Powell is finishing up his second term. President does not want him in there. He's lucky I'm not in charge because I would have fired him. But so the president's been interviewing people to replace Jerome Powell. Two names stick out, right? The two favorites. One was oh man, what's his other guy's name? And then someone calls. Let's see. Okay, so Kevin Warsh was interviewed by the president, and Kevin Hassett, the two Kevins, were both interviewed by the president. And from this is from FoxBusiness.com from a couple of days ago. That I've been trying to trying to be putting out for y'all. But it seems that Kevin Hassett, which is on the president's National Economic Council, is right now the thumbs up favorite to replacing Jerome Powell. But anything's possible in this world, right? But every time I see him on TV, he is very impressive. He knows what he's doing, and I think he'd be good for the economic future of the United States for the next 5 to 10 years, right? So it was written in Fox Business. It said traders on the prediction market platform Kalshi place odds of President Donald Trump selecting Kevin Warsh to succeed Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell at 42%, a 27-point increase this week. Kevin Hassett remains the front runner to lead the world's most powerful central bank, holding a 50% chance despite a 20-point drop. There's like an 8-point percentage lead in this betting thing, right? But the trading volume or the total dollar amount wagered in this market is a little over $10.2 million. I mean, some people just have the money to spend, don't they? Kalashi lets users bet real money on everything from politics to economic policy to sports and pop culture, transforming public sentiment into tradable market odds. Trump said on Friday that his two leading candidates are Kevin Warsh and National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett. Yes, I think he is. Hold on. Yep.
I'm trying to log back onto the podcast, but it's not loading.
It's not. It's spinning.
Yeah, it just did.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Real-time updates. All right. She was telling me, like the on Rumble, you get sometimes the screen spins. Yep. It happened to me this morning. Okay. I think he is. I think you have Kevin and Kevin. They're both. I think the two Kevins are great, Trump said. I think there are a couple of people that are great. It has said Trump's top economic advisor has been a loyal defender of Trump's economic agenda and currently serves as the director of the White House National Economic Council. And director of the National Economic Council, Kevin Hassett, has been widely viewed as a front runner for the top job at the Federal Reserve. So we will find out. Possibly January or maybe February that whoever's being nominated, because they got to go before the Senate for confirmation. All right, and you know how these guys do it in the Senate now. We may hear like 2 years from now that they're finally going to approve someone for an office. That's just me venting right there. That's why we need to do away with the filibuster and blue slips. More to come on that one. All right. And then the next thing is we have upcoming elections, right? You know what? I'm going to hold off on this one. I'm going to do this other one because it's like eating at me right now. So, y'all know that I actually I read the Texas scorecard, which is awesome, right? So they get some really good stuff. Brandon Waltons is a really good reporter for them, and he does some real. I've met him before, and he is really, really, really good. All right, so the thing is, he does, like I said, he does really good reporting. There are Republicans here in Texas that aren't really Republicans, okay? And here's one. I profiled one the other day. Kyle Norris, I think it is. I forgot who he's running against, but he found another one out just west of Fort Worth in the Aledo area, right? Her name is Amy Fennell. All right, GOP candidate Amy Fennell wanted to keep treasonous felon Trump out of the White House. It says, I can't read that part. Okay, Republican primary bid for the Texas House, former Willow Park City Council member Amy Fennell posted repeatedly about keeping President Donald Trump out of the White House and shared favorable messages about former Vice President Kamala Harris. I got a slide to show for y'all in just a second, but I want to read this. Amy Fennell, who describes herself as a proven conservative, is challenging State Representative Mike Olcott, Republican from Aledo. Like I said, it's just west of Fort Worth. Fort Worth, Azle, Springtown, and then Aledo, I believe it is, in the GOP primary for House District 60. So this is the state legislative seat. Just months before the 2024 election, Fennell wrote that Trump should be kept out of the White House, a position she reiterated across multiple posts. All right, and another she called Trump a treasonous felon. Fennell's criticism of Trump intensified during the summer and fall of 2024, which is just a year ago. Right in mid-July, she shared a screenshot of a fundraising text attributed to Trump and described it as some next-level cult blank. Notably, the post came just one day after the attempted assassination of Trump at a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. The following day, Fennell commented on the shooter, writing that he wasn't a radicalized Democrat. In September, she again mocked Trump. She again mocked Trump immediately following another assassination attempt in Florida. She wrote, "Poor Trump." Is that? I don't see that one in there. So she said, "Poor Trump. Everybody's out to get him. Boo-hoo. Suck it up, man." Excuse me. Alrighty. Later in the campaign, Fennell wrote, January 6th was the final straw for her and claimed that Trump would have been hanged for treason 2 centuries ago. And in addition to opposing Trump, Fennell shared multiple posts framing Kamala Harris' campaign in a positive light. In one post, she encouraged readers to be patient and asserted that Harris's campaign was focused on bringing America back together. Okay, where do I go on this one? Fennell also defended taxpayer-funded lobbying, arguing in social media posts that cities and school districts need publicly funded lobbyists, i.e. tax dollars, to effectively engage the legislature. Ending taxpayer-funded lobbying is a legislative priority of the Republican Party of Texas, which I agree. She also dismissed the Republican Party Texas censure process, writing, "The party censures are the dumbest blank and mean nothing." And then she didn't comment on stuff that Brandon had actually emailed to her, right? So what I wanted to show you was this. Alrighty, so this is Amy Fennell. So on the top, so it started with, this is in August. This is a month after the president was shot. Folks, let's just all band together to keep Trump out of the White House this November. It will be a fun national unity thing we all can do, and then we can resort our policy camps and go back to normal fights and disagreements within the bounds of sanity. And she responded, "I am reasonable and I approve this message. Trump must be kept out of the White House so we can get back to business." July 15th, the day after the assassination attempt, the kid who tried to assassinate Trump wasn't a radicalized Democrat. He was a lonely kid who grew up in a world of rage and fear, and then he was handed a gun. How better to be noticed and remembered than as someone who killed a president? She is weird. She shouldn't be allowed anywhere around a Bible to swear in on to become a public official. And then she said, September 15th, this latest alleged assassination attempt will help close the gap. I don't understand how people see strength in a man who constantly plays the victim. Poor Trump. Everybody's out to get him. It's not fair. Boo-hoo. Suck it up, man. And then, let's see. Do we want to read any more of these? I read that one. Okay, so we have the September 10th one, which was 5 days before that one. Be patient and realize you have been plugged into Kamala. She's brand new to most people. Man. And then the one in the upper right-hand corner, conversation with her mom. I can't vote for Kamala. She's not qualified. She was an attorney general. So what? Trump didn't have experience. He ran businesses. Then she says, he had a bankruptcy and raped women, allegedly, right? That's how someone lost a defamation lawsuit. Got handed the defamation lawsuit. And then the mom says, doesn't matter. And then she says, he's a treasonous felon. And then the mom says, so what? All right. So this lady, Amy Fennell, if you live in the 60th legislative district here in Texas, don't vote for her. In the primary, vote for Mike Alcott. Give him that nomination. She does not deserve a single vote from anyone. She sounds like she's someone in league with AOC. All right. So we got that one done. Thank y'all, everybody that's actually listening in today. I appreciate that. Next thing I want to read was GOP poised to, where is it? North Carolina Republicans are poised to overtake Democrats in registered voters for upwards to like 20 years, uh, Democrats have making serious inroads into North Carolina, and Republicans are slowly but steadily making gains to take back their state. Matter of fact, the former chair of the National Republican Convention is running for the Senate in North Carolina because Tom Tillis is retiring. So, this article by Alex Schemmel, Democrats have been dealing with declining voter rolls in a number of states, but one key battleground state in particular appears to be on the verge of flipping from a state that for decades has been more registered Democrat voters to one with more registered Republicans, just like what happened in Florida and Ohio. There are almost 750,000 more. There were almost 750,000 more registered Democrats in North Carolina than Republicans 10 years ago. As of today, the difference is just over 1,000, according to the latest count by the North Carolina State Board of Education. Voters across North Carolina are rejecting the Democrats' failed agenda and choosing Republican leadership. Representative Richard Hudson from North Carolina. The shift didn't happen overnight. It was the result of years of good common sense Republican governance and our focus on offering serious solutions on the issues that matter to the people. All right. And then earlier this year, ahead of a slate of elections that took place in November, saw Democrat Party wins virtually across the board, including multiple candidates who ran under the socialist banner. But that didn't happen in North Carolina. In North Carolina, specifically between 2005 and 2015, the difference in the number of registered Republicans and Democrats in North Carolina remained almost steady, with a difference of about 670,000. But beginning in 2015, that deficit started to shrink. That would be with the advent of President Trump when he came down the golden escalator, right? 5 years later, in 2020, the difference was little over 380,000 in favor of Democrats before the lead shrunk to just 1,216, according to North Carolina Board of Elections voter rolls. So what I'm meaning by that is that if you stick with what President Trump is telling you about what the people are looking for, with less government, less regulation, being able to take more money home, go with the tax cuts, be pro-business, right? Look out for the workers, like no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. Keep that up, be truthful with it, and march forward, and you will find people to vote for you. All right? That's how it all works. Whether you believe it or not, that's how it works, right? So we'll go to the next one. Where is that one? Yeah, this is a good one. All right, I know, 40 minutes. All right, so everyone's been talking about the filibuster and blue slips. All right, I'm going to show you my beautiful truth that I like to show from President Trump. All right, talking about blue slips. Blue slips are making it impossible to get great Republican judges and U.S. attorneys approved to serve in any state where there is even a single Democrat senator. Even if they say no, then it is over for that very well qualified Republican candidate. Only a really far left Democrat can be approved It is shocking that Republicans under Senator Chuck Grassley allow this scam to continue. So unfair to Republicans, not constitutional. I'm hereby asking Senator Majority Leader John Thune, a fantastic guy, to get something done, really to terminate the blue slips and the filibuster, to make great Republicans are being sent packing. None are getting approved. President DJT. I know, y'all have seen it over and over again, but that's the way it is, right? Over the last couple of days, Roger Marshall from Kansas and Senator Mark Wayne Mullins from Oklahoma both support doing away with the filibuster, right? And I say also it should be the blue slips along with it also. So gutting the filibuster was once a taboo notion among Senate Republicans, but the ideal is gaining traction thanks to President Trump's repeated calls to throw out the long-standing procedure. And what they're talking about is the cloture vote, not the filibuster. The filibuster will stay. The filibuster is when you take your happy little butt and you walk out to the center of the Senate and you talk and you talk and you talk and you keep talking until you get tired. And your object of that is to convince people to vote for your measure or vote against that measure, right? It's usually against that measure. Once you stop talking, they vote. That's how filibuster works. But we have this cloture rule saying right now the cloture is 60 votes, right? So, you can eliminate it or you can reduce the cloture, like the 55, right? But these guys, they want to do away with it. The Senate filibuster is a 60 vote threshold that applies to most bills in the upper chamber and give the nature of a thin majorities. Give the nature of thin majorities that neither party has commanded in recent years. That means legislation typically has to be bipartisan to advance. It proved a key barrier in reopening the government, which is very true, and advancing several other Republican priorities in recent weeks, like the GOP's health Obamacare fix that was torpedoed by Senate Democrats. For years, it has been viewed as a tool of the minority party in the Senate, meant to prevent majorities from ramming through partisan legislation that both Republicans and Democrats have taken advantage of. But near monthly prodding from Trump and recent frustration with the 43-day government shutdown has some Republicans rethinking their position on the filibuster. It is something I'm giving serious consideration to now, said Roger Marshall, Senator Republican in Kansas. Marshall previously told Fox News Digital, never, 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 none, when asked if he considered changing the rules after Trump called Republicans to nuke the filibuster in October. Just a few months later, Marshall is reconsidering his position. I think between the last government shutdown and the threat of this one, it makes me pause. It seems like the appropriations process is being slowed down. It feels like with health care, like because he's a doctor, that the Democrat Party doesn't want to get anything done, so eliminating the filibuster ends all that. He echoed Trump, who on Monday told reporters he wants Senate Republicans to knock out the filibuster. You won't have January 30th looming because you have 30th of January looming, right? And if we knocked out the filibuster, it would be a simple approval. He said, but you have some Republicans. They're unable to explain why. You know, if you ask them why they're unable to explain, they cannot win the debate, but they should knock out the filibuster. Some hard grammar there. The likelihood that such a change crosses the floor of the Senate are low, given that the Senate Majority Leader John Thune has routinely maintained, rooted in his position, that the filibuster shouldn't be touched. And then, still, Senator Mark Wayne Mullen of Oklahoma, a member of the Thune's leadership team, said that his position had also changed in the filibuster. Mullen told Fox News' Will Cain that during a recent meeting with Senate GOP leadership, he asked the room if they truly believed the Senate Democrats wouldn't try to get rid of the procedural safeguard when they regained the majority again. If we believe that they're going to do it, then why don't we just go ahead and get it done? And other Republicans are more skeptical about the odds of the filibuster getting axed. Some, like Mullen, think it should be narrowly tailored to only spending bills. See, that's how we got in the fickle we're in right now. While others see the moving as fantasy. That's not going to happen, Senator Bernie Moreno, Republican Ohio, told Fox News, and Senator John Kennedy said the lawmakers weren't even using the tools we have right now to pass Republican agenda. And Kennedy has pushed for another round of budget reconciliation. That the Republicans have two more attempts at getting the process to tackling the growing affordability issues in the country. I would like to see a good current poll on who is in favor of doing away with the filibuster and blue slips in that matter. That would be a really good poll to be able to see. But thanks, Mark Wayne Mullen and Roger Marshall. I really appreciate them saying that because, as y'all know, whoever watches this knows that I don't support the filibuster at all. All right. Hold on just a second here. Okay, I got two more slides. All right, so we got that one. I just give you a quick rundown on this one. Why did Brown University have so few security cameras? Well, they have 1,200 security cameras, but they're all placed in the wrong area. Like I was mentioning to my wife yesterday, they got all these kids that go to this Ivy League school because if you didn't know, Brown University is an Ivy League, right? You go in any classroom and you ask these kids, whether it be in physics or history or whatever, hey, who in here is an IT expert? Half the class is probably going to raise their hand because these kids are so smart going to that school. Why is it the administration there isn't as smart? They were used an excuse that the building where the shooting took place in is old. Someone heard John Roberts on Fox earlier today say you can retrofit any building to have modern stuff in it. I've been in buildings that had conduit ran along the walls because there were 60-year-old buildings of concrete and they had to put electricity in, so they run conduit all. They just retrofit them and stuff. I have wireless at my house, so I see everybody that comes and goes at my house. I don't have to put new wiring and stuff in there. And you got to have people to I itch my foot. You got to have people to be able to monitor those devices too. I heard that Brown University had a $46 million loss last year. I don't know how true that is, but if it's true, that's substantial, right? Especially for the amount of money they charge these students to be able to go to school there. All right. So while we're talking, I'll take a break just for a second here, regroup. Don't forget to click that follow button and click that like button, please, all right? And then share it, all right? So we're talking about Brown University. They keep showing stuff on TV. They can't get a close-up of the picture of the guy. They won't tell anyone what he yelled inside the room when he barged in. Another question is, why did he want to do this mass shooting on a Saturday in a classroom, in a college room? Who does that? If you're going to do a school shooting, you're going to do it during the day when there's a lot of people. So somebody was targeted. Whether it be one of the two people that died or one of the people that were wounded, the person didn't even take a hit at the graduate student that was teaching the class, and that person, whether it be male or female, that's actually doing the presentation for the students. They were doing a review for finals. He's fully exposed, because if you've ever been in those classrooms, you have the center part where the professor is, and then you have the stadium sitting type area where all the students are. So he had a clean shot at the instructor. Why didn't he do that? And he said he looked right at the guy that was doing the shooting. So nobody can tell you what happened in there or what was said. They don't have security camera footage. And I'm going to bring up one more thing. This happened yesterday in Massachusetts, right? MIT professor was executed at his house. They don't even have any idea. It was what's his name? It's hard to pronounce. He was a professor. Oh man, I lost all my train of thought here. His last name is Lorino. Okay, Lorino. I thought, where's his first name, man? Oh, Nuo Lorino. He's a professor of nuclear science and engineering and of physics at MIT. So the way they found him, they said when they entered in, he was laying flat on his back, shot. Now, who did it? So they can't find the shooter from Brown University, and they can't find the shooter of this guy that was at MIT. What in the world is going on? We're not hearing nothing. Yeah, and I'll qualify. So his neighbor, upon opening her door, Cohen reportedly witnessed Lorino lying on his backside in an apartment building entrance, and that's where he was. And he's married too, so this looks like another hit. What is going on? Do we have dime store cops that are operating up there in the Northeast that they can't solve any crimes? In this case, you might as well just let the federal government, the FBI or the U.S. Marshals, conduct all these investigations, because nothing's going to get solved, right? Or is the young people, the Gen Alphas that are out there right now, are they so apathetic of what's going on out there they don't want to say nothing, right? Like this United Healthcare person shooter that he got like $700,000 in donations because he executed a healthcare executive. So something's got to happen. They keep showing stuff on TV about this guy, but nobody is like, can you imagine if you lived in Rhode Island and one of your best buds is wearing that same jacket they keep showing this guy wearing? you recognize the jacket and you don't make the phone call, something's got to happen, right? I hope to find the shooters of this MIT guy and find the shooters of the MIT guy and of the Brown victims, right? Oh man, I'm losing my voice again. Got those done. We'll hold off on that one. So one other thing, remember the president's going to be on TV tonight, okay? So I'm going to give you a quick update on Venezuela. The president put this out on Truth yesterday evening. It said Venezuela is completely surrounded by the largest armada ever assembled in history of South America. It will only get bigger, and the shock to them will be like nothing they have ever seen before, until such time as they return to the United States of America all the oil, land, and other assets they have previously stolen from us. The illegitimate Maduro regime is using oil from these stolen oil fields to finance themselves, drug, terrorism, human trafficking, murder, and kidnapping. For the theft of our assets and many other reasons, including terrorism, drug smuggling, and human trafficking, the Venezuelan regime has been designated a foreign terrorist organization. Therefore, today I am ordering a total and complete blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers going in and out of Venezuela. The illegal aliens and criminals that the Maduro regime has sent to the United States during the weak and inept Biden administration are being returned to Venezuela at a rapid pace. America will not allow criminals, terrorists, or other countries to rob, threaten, or harm our nation, and likewise will not allow our land, our hostile regime, to take our oil, land, and other assets, all of which must be returned to the United States immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. All right. So what he means by that is when Hugo Chavez was the president of Venezuela, their legislature passed a law that told all oil companies they had to share ownership with the Venezuelan regime or they had to leave. And what they did, they seized their oil fields. And Chevron was the only one that didn't, right? All this oil that's funding their criminal enterprises is not going to the Venezuelan people. It's going into the pockets of the drug runners. The drug runners that are buying boats, speedboats, boats with 4 engines, boats that can go across the Caribbean until we get our hands on them, right? That is what he's talking about. Boats that bring drugs into our country that kill upwards to 100,000 of our young adults every single year. And President Trump is tired of it, and he's trying to get rid of it. All right? I don't know if the president's going to talk a little bit about that tonight. We'll see. We'll see where he's going to go on that. I'm pretty sure he's just going to mainly talk about economics and his accomplishments over the year. All right. I keep having this is. I'll show you my stack. Look at this stack of papers. I mean, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 8 articles I haven't even gotten to this year. This week. I'm just running out of time on them. So, did I remember everything? Does anyone have any questions of me before we sign off on it? please, I just clicked the like button for myself. I forgot to do that earlier. If you're watching, please click the please click that thumbs up button. Please do it, right? And then if you're not already a follower, we got 100 followers. Click that follow button, right? The only thing I forgot to tell y'all, I don't think I did, but if y'all watch Fox News, they had a really good conservative that's on there, and she's been missing a couple weeks now, right? 2 or 3 weeks, and found out last night she's on News Nation now. Katie Pavlich, right? Sorry to see her go. I actually looked on DirecTV to see if I could find her on there, and News Nation's not even offered on DirecTV. So I got to probably look her up on the internet, or see if there's an app. That might be a good way to go too. So remember, I'll be on Thursday and Friday, Monday, a little bit on Tuesday, off all the way through Monday, and then a little bit more on Tuesday, then off the rest of that week, it looks like. All right? So I hope everybody has a great day. Don't forget to watch the president, and he should be in Delaware at some time, unless they're not going to show it on TV. All right? For those National Guard NCOs that died in Syria, keep their families in your prayers. I've lost too many friends in combat, so yeah, it's crazy. All right, so I will see y'all tomorrow. Let's finish up. Hold on. Go back. There we go. Stop. All right, so these are my socials. I'm on X. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube at the JP8 Report 67. I'm on True Social, and under my email address is jp8report@gmail.com. All right. So I hope everybody has a great day. I know it's going to speed up and go really fast. Thanks for bearing with me. I'm going to take a nap in just a few minutes. Man, that kicked my butt last night. We left the house at 10:30-ish and got home almost 2 o'clock. And then it takes me a few hours to get ready for this during the day. So, but thank you very much for tuning in and giving me an hour of your time to talk about politics and American history, which is what I like doing the most, all right? So, everybody have a great day. This is James Pierce with the JPA Report. I'll catch you on the flip side. I'm out.